Time to educate the listeners. Little Hire It Done University.
Welcome to Hire It Done University. We only teach one subject, hassle-free home improvement. Brought to you by Infusion Kitchen and Bath. Infusion Showrooms. Your imagination is our inspiration.
Did you know remodeling can be fun?
It can be fun. That's true.
Dreaming about what your space is going to look like, putting all the selections together, imagining the fun you're going to have in your newly renovated palace.
Sounds wonderful.
Greg, you built a house recently.
Yes, sure did.
Was it stressful or was it fun?
It's both. It's fun and stressful.
What was stressful about it?
I think, more of timelines, just trying to get it done.
Did you put a budget together?
Not really.
Right. Was that a mistake?
Well, we did, but
if you could do it again, would you put a more strict budget?
Yes, for sure.
Did you go over?
Oh, yeah.
You
Way
killed
over.
it.
Yeah.
What about you, Ron?
Way over.
Yeah. We got Ron Alexander from Shelby Mechanical sitting in the co-pilot seat right now. You recently renovated a lake house?
Took the house down to studs. The entire house started from scratch again. And it...
you done yet?
We are actually we're wrapping up the bathroom that we were using during construction. So now we're creating another mess.
So here's two live examples, right, in live in studio about budgeting and how important it really is when you're renovating
And
a
they're
house.
professionals. They do this every day, right? So they know.
It's the might as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, especially in remodeling.
Okay.
If you got this open, you might as well do it.
So the 4 dirty words of home improvement. We might as well.
Oh, yeah. I end up taking up the wood floor, the subfloor.
You went down to the stud.
Oh,
Remember, you
yeah.
did the insulation. You were smart, though. You did it right.
Yeah, I foamed it until I had
And you
quite some
got
damage.
PEX everywhere. You got plumbing distribution going crazy.
Yes.
I figured if a plumber you'd have, like, in your
makes
house,
sense.
the roof, you
Oh,
have the
yeah.
best roof.
Oh, I do. Yeah.
My wife can't figure out how to use the shower yet.
Okay, so the key here for everyone is we're talking about budgeting for your home improvement project. We talked about that in the question, the cushion, earlier. So it's similar and it overlaps. So the key here is you got to do your research. Now, when I say research, I'm saying, okay, start looking at costs and generalizations, come to Hire It Done, but don't pretend because you saw one YouTube video that says, oh, build a house for $60 a foot. It's not happening.
No.
Renovate for $80 a foot. It's not happening.
No.
How to be your own general contractor and save 50%. Not happening.
Nope.
Right?
It won't. I think people underestimate the time it'll take them to do that sort of thing. But also, research is important when you're looking at things. What do you like? What are you drawn to? Are you going to be spending $800 on a shower fixture? Those kinds of costs will add up over time, right? Right? If that's an important thing to you, you will, right?
So, and that's a great point, Erica. So here's my thing, okay? And another piece of advice for the listeners. Don't rely on HGTV in a half-hour TV show where they show you how they make this beautiful bath. And,
30 minutes, yeah.
Even some of the online cost estimators I find are pretty low.
No, they're not, they are. None of them are right.
Right.
By the way, breaking news. Extreme Makeover Home Edition is coming back.
Is it?
Just announced. Ty Pennington.
No way.
Yeah, it's going to be on HGTV produced. I've reached out to my my friends that are still involved, and they're like, yeah, it's going to be announced in 2020.
I cry when they move the bus, too.
Right? Did you weren't involved in any of the ones here, were you?
No, we didn't get involved.
Yeah, we built the one in Oak Park.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I was the contractor.
Really?
You didn't know that?
No.
Did you know I worked for the show? For
When
2
did-
seasons.
Oh.
2004, 2005, and 2006.
No.
Yeah, I produced.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I was a construction producer. You
Okay.
didn't know that? You knew that.
Oh.
I have a
I knew
couple
that.
pictures from that.
Yeah, we had some fun.
Yeah.
That sounds
It was
like
fun. It's all good, though. It's all good.
But you don't have a budget on those types of jobs. It's just do whatever you need
No,
to do
it's
to
get
get it
crazy.
done.
It's
It's all
control.
volunteer, isn't it?
That was controlled chaos.
Right.
Yeah, it's moments of sheer panic, controlled chaos, and then sheer delight and a lot of crying.
When it gets done, yeah.
Yeah, we the job really quick. I don't mean to diverse, but the job we did was in Oak Park. Blind, autistic child. The parents were deaf.
I remember that one episode.
And we won an Emmy.
No kidding.
Yeah, on that episode.
awesome.
Yeah, it was good. Anyways, we'll talk more about that in the future. So budgeting for your project, friends, is important, but you got to do the research and you've got to be a little bit diligent, right? The first thing we got to do is look at your own finances and see, when you build a house, the bank says, all right, we're going to lend you $500,000. You're like, oh my God, it's, but before you know it, you're going to kill that budget. Even on a renovation job, If a contractor says to you, all right, I can do your custom bath for 15 grand, in the back of your mind, you need 2,500 to 3 grand sitting on the side. Just, that's like 10, 15%. That's thin. Yeah. But just to take care of we might as well.
You need that at least.
Yeah, I think it's more like 25%.
Well, we recommend.
I think so.
We recommend at least 15, but you should be thinking in your head, there are things under that tile, under that behind that drywall that nobody knows what they are. So
rotten wood, lack of insulation. We run into that every day.
Yeah. And
that's interesting. It's interesting that you say that. But here's one of the things that nobody puts emphasis on, but I always talk about is time. Mm-hmm. Greg, if you were building a house and you said, all right, I'm going to do it in 12 months. 18 months later, you don't even, you're at drywall stage, right?
Yeah, there's so many variables that come into play. We're waiting on inspectors. You fail at inspection. Part-time inspectors. They, you're done today and they can't get out till next Friday. There's so many things that come into play.
Weather plays a big part in how the job flows.
What about in plumbing, Ron? What usually delays a job from plumbing?
Ordering the fixtures, get those in time, and it's usually, the plumbing we have to wait on by the time the tops and cabinets get in. So that's kind of we follow behind them. But that's
how
the
often?
Delay.
So, because you're probably one of the best plumbers in Metro Detroit.
Thank you.
And how does it affect when a homeowner, you're doing a job, let's just say for a bathroom or a basement remodel, and you're putting a bathroom in a kitchen, and the homeowner orders the high-end Growy, Brizo, whatever it is, right? Mm-hmm. And then the valve is not matching the...
We do run into that, yeah.
How do you double-check? How can you measure twice, cut once with plumbing?
Well, we usually, when they go to pick them, we usually tell them to go to a supply house, sit down with a salesperson, and most of them know what goes with what control valves go with what mixing valves, and without getting too depth, they'll usually set you up with the right stuff, and then we usually go through it at the beginning of the project to make sure it is the correct stuff, because it sometimes it's 4, 6, 8 weeks out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, that's the problem. I don't want to have a headache like that. That's the thing. That's why there's Infusion Kitchen and Bath.
Exactly.
We deal with them. You got the guys in Detroit and Vance.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out
Vance
to
guys.
Josh,
great guys,
and his brother Justin. They're listening today. Greg, you the same thing, right?
Oh yeah.
Double check.
You have to. It's just like with the roofing industry. If they have a special order shingle or a high end shingle, and they ship it short, or there's not enough product, or they decide right in the middle of it they want a metal valley, something different. It puts the brakes on it.
Has there ever been a different dye lot in shingles, like the same, you pick the same color, but all of a sudden, it's not the exact same.
Oh, yeah.
That happens.
Oh, yeah.
The manufacturer stands behind it, though, right?
They do. We try to over-order, so if it's 10 or 12 squares, we try to send out, 13, 14 squares just for that particular reason.
Just in case.
Just in case.
Can you return a couple squares?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Who do you buy your shingles from?
Well, a lot from Wimsat and ABC. So
shout out to Wimsat today and ABC.
Yep.
And a shout out to all the snowplowers.
Yep.
Who are working their butt off today. Anyways, what about don't skimp on the labor? You get what you pay for. Did you have any regrets, Greg, when you did your house?
No, not at all.
Was there anyone, if you had to pay any extra labor, Ron, to do anything?
No, what I did, I told everybody working in the house. I had a friend of mine was a GC, Mike Falsetta, shout out to him, but he was a good friend. And what we did was I told everybody walking in the house, I said, I don't care how long it takes you, what you have to reorder, back order, whatever. I don't care if the house takes 2 years. I want it done right. That's all I want is done right. If you see something, you say, Ron, this has got to get changed, do it. I'm not doing it again. This is one-time deal. I'm staying there, and that delayed me probably a year.
Oh, so it did. But again, put yourself in a homeowner's shoe. They want to they want the same thing you just said, but they don't want to have to pay every time something comes up, right? Because sometimes there are contractors who find things.
It's not just the money, it's the time, too. They don't want to extend the job.
Yep.
But
Which goes back to time is the new currency.
Time is money.
If you're going over budget and you're looking at ways to save, it's not on labor, it's on your selections. That's where it is. You're not going to, you should just pay the labor for it to get installed right.
So a key to this conversation is communication with your contractor.
And don't rush them. If you want a job done really well, there's some flexibility there,
No, we always need you
especially in the winter.
Now, if you run out of money, which happens.
It does.
A lot. You should look into financing options.
You should. Well, you should probably do that before you run out of money. So this is the part. This goes back to the planning, right? The banks don't want to lend money to people who need it. They only want to lend money to people who don't need it.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
The banks never want to lend me anything.
I'm doing battle with them right now over a building.
Yeah. Hey, it happens, right?
Yeah.
Well, the more information you have ahead of time, the better you're going to be.
Correct.
So hopefully you learned a little bit about this segment here.
Yep.
That's a lot of home improvement advice, and we got more coming your way. Coming up next, more plumbing advice, especially with frozen pipes in this weather. I want to talk about that and any trends this year you might see in plumbing. I'm Adam Helfman. You're listening to the Hire It Done Radio Network.